Welcome to the MFS Wellness Podcast, a hybrid structure encompassing health, fitness, self-improvement, and entertainment, where no topic is off limits and all opinions are graciously welcomed.
Let's get on with the show!
And now, here's the host of the show, Mike Sinopoli.
This is the MFS Wellness Podcast, and I am Mike Sinopoli, and it is Thursday, December 26th, so I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I'm sure we're all sitting around feeling fat, happy, and bloated right now, which is what happens for the holidays. So if you are, you did it successfully, it sounds. This today, after some really good feedback on our first installment, we're going to go back and now we're doing part two of the divorced dads with daughters. And so we're going to go ahead and kind of just recap quick what we did last time. And we have some new topics here to kind of discuss that show up throughout this entire thing. So the same two gentlemen as last time are here joining me. I have my longtime neighbor and good friend, Mr. Dan Wisnewski. How you doing, sir?
Fantastic, Mike. Thanks for having me back on.
Oh, it's a joy and a pleasure as always, my friend. And also here, returning as well, is a longtime buddy of mine, Nick Micucci. Mr. Nicholas.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me back on.
Of course, guys. So you guys have a good Christmas and all, and everything go pretty well?
Yeah, it's been a good Christmas. Feel like I've traveled a lot, though.
Yeah, a lot of running around.
A lot of running around.
Same here.
And it's still not over.
Well, yeah, that's that's something that gets even increased more when you have more places to visit, because you've essentially expanded upon family in some cases, or you know what I mean? Like maybe
that's definitely a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll kind of talk about that. That's going to be one of the top main topics here that we're going to be discussing. But to kind of recap, last time we talked about how we co-parent. We talked about our successes and struggles being men, raising girls, introducing the girls to significant others, lots of back and forth with what we're going to do when the first period comes, and how we manage through that kind of stuff as single dads. So if you want to listen to that one, that is in the archives from October, middle of October. We recorded that one. Got a lot of great feedback, so that's why we're here back again doing this. And the purpose for doing this podcast really is so if anybody out there is struggling, it's really what this is for. Whether you're a dad of boys, of girls, or even any parent really can take something from this and sort of get an understanding of three guys who have gone through the whole process. So kind of let's just catch up. Let's just assume everyone listening listened to the first one. Guys, anything major changed since we talked last? I know we were all kind of in the middle of the episode on the verge of wondering if the girls were gonna hit that one piece, the period, right? I don't even know. It sounds uncomfortable to talk about, and you don't have to share that because that's very personal information. But anything else changed since last time, Nick? How about you? Anything, or everything just been steady?
On the period stand front,
not even just the period, but anything in general. Anything of note
in general
in the last couple of months.
No, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I think there's been more. Having a preteen is little more challenging than kids or daughters that are younger than the preteen age, the adolescent age. I've had more frequent talks with my older daughter, when it comes to attitude, approach to talking with family members, with grandparents, with, changes in behavior in general. My parenting style seems to be a little bit more, be nice, but also instill in fear and talk very logically and be realistic instead of trying to baby my kids.
Right.
Because that's the way I was raised. And I feel like in today's social media world, internet world, where we didn't have those as kids, I felt like we were raised with with a larger iron fist than a lot of kids are raised today. So I try to take the same approach without being too much like a Karen, for lack of a better term.
Right.
So if you get, I hope that
Wait,
makes sense what I mean
yeah,
by that.
no, I know exactly what you're saying, and we should come up and we have to find that out. I was on a podcast before, and we asked what's the male name for a Karen? Do we know? Is there a male name for a Karen? Does
Oh,
that
I don't know. I
Chad,
don't know, but
Chad,
there's got to be a Chad, maybe. Yeah,
I don't know. I know a Chad. He's a pretty cool guy, but I don't know. So
sometime.
we'll see. We'll have to come up with that. We'll for part three, we'll have the top list of male Karen names. We'll figure something out to put
Okay,
that
I
out
like
there.
it.
Have some fun with it. Dan, what about you? Any big changes? Anything significant, or just kind of cruising through as usual, business as usual?
Yeah, kind of business as usual. I wouldn't say there's any big changes, but I do remember when we talked last time. Nick was mentioning how his older daughter was kind of struggling with some things with the changes in the relationship. So I'm curious, Nick, like how have things gone with your older daughter up to this point?
I would say, we visit my girlfriend and her kids pretty frequently.
Okay.
And, like today, for instance, we're all in the van and they're like yelling at each other because one's annoying the other. But it's like, overall, they have a good time together and they really enjoy each other's company. And, she can see that, me and my girlfriend get along pretty well and we have a good relationship. Um, and, I think that
Do you think it's
she's been,
exposure that helps? It's just more exposure.
yeah, yeah, no, I think the exposure does help. I don't, especially after, being in a relationship with somebody else, probably more than like six, close to 6 months maybe, or,
Hmm.
5, 6 months. I wouldn't really introduce the kids to somebody very early in a relationship, or even like going out to have fun, being, that in that phase, post divorce, I would never expose my kids to anything like that, the fun phase. But once trying to get back into like a long term relationship, I think there's a certain time period that they were open to meeting her and they all get along. They ask about, when can we go by, a girlfriend's house and
Oh, that's
see
good.
the kids, so it's good to hear that. And I hope it continues that way
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
really, I think they need that healthy, that healthy outlook of what a healthy relationship looks like
Yeah, it's
in
very
their lives.
beneficial. Yeah, very beneficial to see something like that.
Hmm.
And I think that's now what we have as as divorced men, what we have is a responsibility to show those girls two different types of good relationships, right? One with their mother, and one
Hmm.
with your new significant other, and or
Yeah.
whenever that comes. So I think that's just kind of gives us like two different ways to show respect to women and in different ways and be that role model that you can be. That's the best thing I think that we can do as men is be what we think that our daughters would want to be with later on in their lives when they grow up.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then for me, within the last episode to now, there was a pretty big change. The My girls met my girlfriend's boys, so we had some good times. We did a Halloween get together. We did a Thanksgiving get together and a Christmas one as well. And it's been really good. So they've,
That's awesome.
they're a little bit different, being at boys and girls, and then having a little bit different ages, where her boys are 18, 14, and 10, and my girls are 10 and 7. So there's the gender
Hmm.
and then the age difference. So it's not like it's
Yeah.
this, oh, hey, look at this best friend type thing, but they all get along, they all have fun together. And her older son was over and with my nephews, and he was really good with them playing around, and it was really cool to see. Like we had everybody together, and it was it was I was nervous, of course, just to see how it is, but it went really well, and it's just something that's going to continue to grow, and we'll see where it goes. So that's the big change over here for me. But
Cool.
yeah, but that's it. But it's all good change. It's all good. So, so that what saying that, what's a major part of this divorce, and something that gives people, a sick feeling in their stomach, at least it did for me, was when these holidays roll around. And something that did happen in between our last episode and this one were a few holidays: Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, excuse me. So, just guys wondering, Dan, we'll start with you here. What was it like, and what were your struggles and like your successes, and how do you do holidays? Do you guys have a schedule? Do you guys just kind of wing it? What do you do?
Well, we still always do holidays together with the girls. I guess the only difference is that we, like with the extended families, we still kind of like go to the extended families holiday stuff, which is cool because they still feel, um, for I guess my situation's a little different because I've been a part of the family since I was 16.
Mhm.
And I still feel a part of the family and vice versa. Like my parents still love Taylor and she's always still welcome. I know it's not the norm as we talked last time. So we still do holidays like together, and like even Taylor brought Brad with to my parents' Christmas, but my everybody got along, everybody's cordial, everyone's cool. And I'm glad to see that. I don't know if that will last forever. Obviously, there's got to be a point where, things kind of split, but for now, the ball's rolling that direction, and as long as everybody's getting along, that's how we're doing it.
That's pretty good, man. That's really good, actually. If the holidays are such a cherished time, they're such a limited time, especially seeing these kids at their younger ages, especially around Christmas and all. For me, we just basically we've sort of just been playing it by ear, year in and year out. We just play it
Mm.
by ear a little bit. So it's like, hey, what's going to be going on for Christmas? What's going to be going on here? What works? Like what's going to work? So luckily, we don't need an appointed court date type thing to go, hey, this is your day, this is mine, this is yours, this is mine. We sort of have just like said, well, let's just see how this goes. And I think we had enough confidence to go ahead and do this together. So for Thanksgiving, right? That week she had the girls that week. So she was Jen, my ex. She was like, I want to take the girls with my parents to Great Wolf Lodge, to the water park for over Thanksgiving, the long weekend. So I was like, okay, that's fine. That's okay. I was a little, okay, that'll be fine. And so what I did was I made the best of it. So I had the Saturday before, I went ahead and talked to Kathleen, my girlfriend, and my parents, my sister, everybody, and we just had an early Thanksgiving, traditional with all the same foods,
Hmm.
everything we would normally do at my house. And we had a really nice time. And it really just shows, a lot of times we get so like just trapped in the day. It's the day. But really, like that just felt like Thanksgiving to me. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
And then, so she took the girls on the trip, and I was able to go up to Cedar Lake, Indiana, and spend it with my girlfriend and her family, which was really nice. We had a great time. So that was cool. And what's
That's
cool about
awesome.
and two things that are cool about this whole thing is that at Thanksgiving, my girlfriend's ex-husband was there, and we get along really well. So, and he's comfortable. I've talked to him, made sure he feels good about everything, and I don't, I never want to be one that's going to thwart somebody from being with their children on a holiday. And then, same thing, kind of Christmas. On Christmas Eve, both my girlfriend and my ex were at my sister's house on Christmas Eve. So, and they get along really well, and it's so far so good. So that's basically just kind of how we do it. Um, that's really it. We just kind of play it by ear and work it out as best we can. Nick, what about you?
It's really good. Um, I would say we have a more structured holiday schedule. Very early, well, in the middle of, the divorce, settling, negotiations, we came up with you know, parental plan that's, in the decree that does we do rotate every other year holidays. So, last year my ex got the kids for uh, Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas Day. And then this year I had them for, well, actually, no, it was supposed to be, it was Halloween was last year was with me, but this year, my daughters wanted to go and do Halloween like kind of locally where I live because of all their friends. They want to go with their friends, so she was fine with that. Um, Pretty flexible with that, but with the major holiday, I would say the more major holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, we rotate. So this year, I had them for Christmas Day yesterday, and then they're also with me until because I create a calendar every year, and with all the days of when of what the custody agreement looks like. So we have a more color coded schedule of when are her days, when are my days, when are the holidays, when are winter break, splitting winter break or like fall, spring break.
Yeah. You guys having
Uh,
any conversations about, at all like getting more together for it? Or is it still just not there yet?
well, I mean, I went by her apartment yesterday for a couple hours, and the kids opened some of their gifts. I brought over a couple of gifts. I didn't bring over everything, but no, we're in a good spot, with especially with Christmas morning. Like I were able to go and you know be in the same. I was able to go to her apartment, and she invites me over, and you know at least the kids are able to do that. I don't want to take, we both don't want to take that away from them. um and it's very hit or miss. She has a lot of big, a lot of her family members have big get-togethers for the holidays, and um I just want to make sure that I have my fair share of time with them, and I think that's, I'm happy that we have a more organized thing like that where we can ensure that there's fairness across the board, with holidays and time spent during the holidays. So that's how we do it.
Yeah.
That's what was agreed upon.
Did you guys agree
Try
on
not to
that?
deviate. We
Is
try not
that
to deviate too much. I mean, if we have flexibility with, like, hey, can you switch this weekend with that weekend? I know it's either a yes or no answer. Most
yeah.
of the time it's sure, no problem.
What do you guys think
Uh,
now? Now, did you put that in did you put that like, if you don't want to, but you don't have to answer this, but did you put that in like a court document, the holidays? Is there a
yes,
pol Okay.
yes.
Um, okay. Yeah. Just some people have to do that and some don't. And sometimes it's just better to do more than less, I guess, in those things. But I was just curious if that was something that you guys did on your own or you got a lawyer's to write something up.
Yeah, no, it was something was drafted on her side. It was presented to my side, um, kind of in the middle of everything. We probably should have talked about it more, but the quicker the negotiations and the divorce process went, the better off we both were.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And you have to do that.
so
That's something too that I'll even say out loud to anybody listening is like if you the faster you can get through this, the better off it's going to be because financially mostly because they will eat you
yeah,
alive. So, okay.
yeah.
So you've
But
kind of
like you said, there's flexibility. Like we have flexibility. We're not afraid to ask each other, like,
good.
hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Or can we switch? Can we blah blah blah? We be flexible with this holiday, that holiday.
All
We even
right.
like pick up and drop off.
Right.
But I just want to make sure that, like as she should too, like have our fair share of time, especially during the holidays with our children. Because I don't want anybody, neither me nor her, want to monopolize the kids' time during any holiday.
All right,
So
correct. And at the end of this episode, I'm going to drop what I believe is the number one rule, the number one way, like your own personal policy when you get into a divorce. I feel like there's just one thing that we all need to just abide by, and it would really help. And I'll get to that later today. But so it sounds like everybody is in a spot where they're pretty good. There's going to be maybe future more split in the future. Maybe there's going to be more less split in the future. Like Dan, like you said, maybe there might be more split coming in the future, especially if significant others come more into play. And Nick, it sounds like maybe for you, there's going to be maybe more together in the future at some point, maybe. Who knows,
Maybe.
And you never know where it's going to go, and things evolve the way they're going to evolve. Like with anything, sometimes just try not to have too many expectations in these kinds of things and just kind of let it play out. I will tell you right now, I kick my own ass because I always have expectations subconsciously for something, and I have to be very self-aware that I don't sit there and hold myself to these expectations, whether they're realistic or not. And because it doesn't always play that way out, and that leads to disappointment and frustration. We don't want that. But on a lighter note, guys, given that our daughters are all between the ages of about 7 and 11.
Yeah.
Is that right, guys?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, Dan, where are we at now that we're talking about holidays with the belief in Santa Claus, Saint Nick, the elf, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, Krampus, all these motherfucking characters that magically come to the house and fucking pull money out of my wallet? Do your kids, Dan, believe in anything, or where are they with this?
That's a question I was very curious about a month ago, maybe a little over a month ago. I would say towards middle of end November. I sat down with Peyton, my older daughter, and I straight up asked her. I said, "Do you still believe in Santa?" Just curious, just to see what she would say. And she said, I expected her to say no, but she said, "Yeah, I still kind of believe in him. I think he's real." So I left it at that. I just, okay, well, if you still believe, then that's cool. And I just kind of just asked some more general questions about the holidays and stuff. And then I just left it as is because I thought, okay, this is I've already prepared myself mentally. Like, this is the last Christmas that at least she'll still believe. If my younger one doesn't, get the secret before next year, maybe Peyton can help me steer that one for the next couple of years. But I'm not like dead set on they have to believe in Santa till forever. I don't care if they believe or not. I want them to believe. But eventually, that truth is going to come out, and then we'll have those conversations. I think it could be fun. I think the only exhausting part is those damn elves every morning. Oh my God, dude. I'm like, what a curse. And I bought 2 of them like an idiot. Like an idiot, dude. I bought 2 of these things. So I got it.
You're doing 2 elves? You're doing 2 fucking
yes.
elves?
In the fucked up part is like even the days that they're at their mom's, they still want to know where these things are. So even those days, like,
what do you
I gotta it's a show.
You're sending pictures and shit.
I gotta at least send a picture, but you gotta remember they get on the bus at my house. So even on my off weeks, they'll come in before the bus to look. So man.
Yeah, but at least you don't have to sneak it as much. You can just be a little louder and get it done. I had one day this past month where I was on both elf and tooth fairy duty. And I was tired as fuck. So I'm just like, geez, I want to go to bed, but oh wait a minute, I gotta do this, and then I gotta sneak into the bedroom, remove the tooth, put the money in, do the whole spiel. But as far as my kids go, they believe in everything. My older daughter, Daniela, she does not believe in the elf on the shelf anymore. And the reason for that is because of me. Because last year, I got all the decorations out, and I had thought I'd put the elf somewhere else. But I go ahead and open up this one box, and sure as shit, right on top of there is that stupid elf looking at me and her smiling, and she looks at me with these eyes with these. I'm like, so let me tell you something about the elf. Right. So she's been keeping it up for her sister.
That's a good system.
But even my younger daughter Evangeline, she's asking why why does this elf have a tag on it? I don't know. It's just what they wear at the North Pole, So that's it. So I think they still believe in it. I don't know. maybe Daniela, my older daughter, I think she's smart enough to know that what's going on, but also smart enough to keep it going.
Yeah.
And maybe they know they get more presents if they believe. Maybe that's what they think. I've heard that's
Yeah.
a big
Yep.
reason to keep it
100%.
going. Um,
That's what I felt of when Peyton gave me that answer.
mhm.
That was my first instinct was I think you do. I didn't say it, but in my head I'm thinking, yeah, you fucking know, and you just don't want to say it because you think you're
And
getting more gifts.
right, exactly. And you know what? It comes down to this, like this is like the struggle of the parent, right? Like we almost okay, we're tired. We don't, we have to put sneak the gifts in. We have to sneak the elf around. We have to sneak our hand under the pillow to do this. We have to
Yeah.
do all this. And then sometimes you just sit down and be like, oh, I can't wait till they stop doing this shit. But realistically, you're probably when they stop completely, you're probably gonna feel a big era of life pass, and you're gonna be like, wow. I no longer have children who believe in this magical
Yeah.
holiday stuff. Nick, what about you? Your
Yeah.
girls, you have the oldest of, I think, of all the kids in the group here.
Yeah. So my oldest one, no, like the Tooth Fairy, Santa, that's all ended.
That's over.
Um,
She
yeah,
keeping
it's
it up. Is
over.
she keeping it
How
up for?
old? How old was she when she figured it out, or
She
did you tell
was
her?
it was last year.
Okay.
And it's like I probably regret doing this, but I kind of laid it all on her at once with like once she got her first period, the sex talk, and then oh, by the way, like the tooth, well, I already knew she didn't believe in the tooth fairy, but like Santa Claus talk came right with the sex talk because I just wanted her to hear it from me instead of kids in
Oh,
junior high when she was going into
right,
that she was
right.
going into the following year. So, I worded it in a way that was better than I would say, well, there's no such thing as Santa Claus. I worded it in a way where it's like, Saint Nicholas was an actual human person that lived in like the early 300s or 400s, whatever century that was. And there are traditions and historical facts and traditions that have, you know, stayed through the course of time. And what you see personified as Santa Claus is Saint Nicholas, who was an actual historical figure. So I kind of worded it in a way like that. Um, and the reaction was, "Oh my God, like everything has been a lie in my life."
And
Like
that's
kind of a
that's my fear. Like I look, I don't want to like deprive the kids of the magic and the fun of that because I don't know. When
yeah.
I found I was never mad at my parents. I never was like, you fucking liars. I can't believe you did this to me. I
Hmm.
don't trust you anymore. But that's kind of what I fear a little bit is like,
Yeah.
hey, this is me is this me being dishonest to my kids? I don't
It was a one
know.
day thing. It
That's
didn't.
it.
It was.
Okay, so it wasn't
Yeah.
a big
Yeah.
dragged out thing.
No. No.
I
No.
don't. Okay, I don't think it should be for most
But
kids.
my
I don't.
younger one believes in. She's kind of questioning a little bit things here and there, like logical questions that is normal for kids her age, 8-year-olds to ask.
Right. Right.
Um, but she still believes in the Tooth Fairy. She still believes in Santa Claus. Christmas. The Elf on a Shelf. Yeah, we do that here too.
Right.
My
Well,
girlfriend and I.
that's
So.
good. Okay, keep it going. Like we said, you might
Yeah.
miss that. You might miss that one day. It maybe seems like a chore in the present moment, but there might be a time where you wish you were doing it. It sounds crazy,
Mhm.
but I've been through things in my life before that I had wished would stop and not do, and then I would kind of miss it. It's weird. It's almost like you miss the misery, or so whatever you call it.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those phrases, but no, I get it. So hey, that we're around. All our girls are right around those ages, especially the older ones, to where this sort of comes to a drop off, and it's a real pivotal time. This is the second time I've struggled with a word on this podcast.
You bet.
But yeah, so and Nick, you're sort of like the the spearhead here on this one because you've got the older. She's a year older, I think, than both of ours. So you're the
Mhm.
one that's kind of like got the
Yeah, she'll be turning 12 in July. So.
okay. Well, Dan, yours is going to be 11 or is 11, right?
Who, Peyton?
Peyton, she's 11.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So you guys are pretty close in age, those kids. All right. So speaking of ages of the kids, do they? Is it? I don't even know if it's legal, but Home Alone. great Christmas movie, by the way, Home Alone.
Oh yeah.
You ever seen it? Ever heard of it? It's pretty popular.
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah. Well,
A couple times you might have seen it. Okay, so like, anyways, leaving kids home alone. That's something I think that I don't know. Do you do it yet? You guys leave the girls home alone?
Never have. I have. We kind of had that discussion, like our girls, like Peyton doesn't have a cell phone yet. We didn't. Of course, like every kid asks for it, but I'm like, when you're ready for one, we'll get you one, and then that would probably be about the time where I would think, maybe. I would want
Yeah.
her to be comfortable with it too. And
Oh yeah.
I know my kids well enough. Like Peyton would not, if man, she would not be comfortable with it. And I think they let they'll kind
Oh
of like, oh, like go away, Dad. Like I got this. You kind of you see that confidence build up in them. And I think you just kind of know when they're ready. But my girls are
yeah.
definitely not there.
Yeah, no, that's a big part, and that's a big part of like having your own confidence. If you don't, you can't leave your kid alone. If that kid is scared
Mm,
or not confident in being by themselves, you can't do that. That's unfair to the kid. And we all
yeah.
live in this. To anyone listening here, we all live in the state of Illinois, unfortunately. So
Yep.
it is illegal. It's illegal to
Yep.
leave a child under 14 home alone without supervision. And this is the highest age requirement in the United States. So we live in a state with the highest age requirement of leaving the kid home alone. So I guess that would mean that if you get caught or something happens, there's probably it's Illinois doesn't give a shit about you or your kids.
Well,
But
how old were you when you got left home alone first?
I don't remember. Maybe I'm sure this law has changed since I was 12,
Okay.
but I believe 12. But at the same time, I don't think Illinois cares about your kids. I think they just know they can prosecute you for more shit.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's just a money generator so that they can do more to you if that's why they bump that age up. But at the same time, I feel like kids
we were
are,
riding our bikes to friends' houses
yeah,
half a mile away, staying out until like 10 o'clock at night,
yeah,
11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
We were 13,
Mhm.
12, 13.
I
So
think I drove my bike home a little tipsy once when I was like 13, raiding a friend's dad's liquor
Yeah.
cabinet. but hey, it is what it is. It's how we live.
But you
Um,
can't stay home alone.
No.
No.
What about you, Nick? Is you or your ex, anybody leaving the girls by themselves or?
so I have not let them stay home alone unless they're with like my girlfriend's oldest daughter is soon to be 13 in next month, coming up very soon, actually, in like a couple weeks. And she's been left alone. Like if we had to go out to like the grocery store, if I had to run out and get something, or for maybe like half an hour,
Yeah.
of course we've done that a couple times.
Mhm.
Whenever they're with me at my house, I actually have never left them home alone. But I know, I don't know if my ex has left them home alone. I think, with work, you know, schedules, that might, I don't know if that could be on the table in the future. It's, kind of scares me a little bit, but my oldest daughter has a cell phone, so and she's got a good head on her shoulders, and would know who to call in case of any kind of emergency.
Sure.
Um, but
Yeah, I would
you,
stay
you know,
away.
yeah.
I'm gonna stay away from it because now that I read that it's illegal up until age 14, I don't want to
Mhm.
get fucked with nothing and like have any sort of.
Yeah.
I don't want the state coming after my kids and my time with them. So I think I'm just gonna not do that. My daughter Danielle has expressed interest in. We live very close to the school. It's right smack in the middle of our suburb. It's really nice. She's expressed interest in wanting to walk to school by herself. Uh, I don't know about that yet. I mean, we'll
Hmm.
see. Um, but that's really it. I have asked and talked to her about being home alone. I don't think she's ready for it. So, hey, you know what? We'll just we'll just kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. And I'll
Hmm.
just use Illinois
Hmm.
law and just kind of go with it and say, hey, when you're 14, you can do it.
I don't even
Um,
want to take them out of the country because I'm going to Mexico at the end of January, and it's like, oh, I don't got them they don't have passports, and I really don't feel too comfortable bringing them to Mexico. But
are
it's
you
like
bringing them with?
maybe
Are you bringing them with you?
no, no, I'm
No,
not.
you're not. I would say they didn't have
My
passports.
my my girlfriend's gonna bring her kids, but it's for it's more so a big family get together on her end.
Right. I did bring.
So
I brought my girls to Punta Cana a while back. That was
mm,
their only time out of the country, so they do have the passports. Have you taken the girls out of the country at all, Dan?
No, they have not yet left the country. I just got their passports earlier this year, just to get them done. Because
hmm
now that they're getting older, like yeah, I like Disney World, and I'd go to Disney World every year. But as they're getting older, like there's gonna be a year where I'm gonna want to take them to Mexico, to to an inclusive resort or something, or whatever. Like I've been to Aruba a few times, and I like the island, so like that'd be a fun trip to take them to. Um, so yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, they're good for 10 years, the passports, so why not?
Right, they're 10
Just,
years, dude.
just
Just get
gives you
it
some
done.
more options, and just, like anywhere else, you just got to be aware of your surroundings and all
Yeah,
that.
I had to get
yeah,
mine renewed anyway, so I was like,
Oh, yeah, well, as
while I'm
well.
at it, let's just get them knocked out, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
hmm
Peyton will have hers until she's
Yeah.
23 or
20,
22.
20 years old, 21,
Or whatever,
whatever.
21, whatever it is. Yeah, so why not? But speaking of the kids being alone, here's one that I want to know about because this is a struggle and a nerve-wracking thing for me still. The bathroom situation now. And I know like when you have young girls, like little kids, like 3, 4, 5, even younger, you're gonna walk them into the boys' bathroom. Hey, close your eyes, we're getting to a stall. Do it. But now, I got a daughter that's gonna be 11 next year. You guys were similar ages. What do you do now? I don't know. I mean, I let them go in, but I'm a nervous wreck the whole time. Dan?
Uh, yeah, I let the girls go alone. Usually, like if the younger one has to go, my older daughter will take her for me.
Hmm.
I still like to be able to see the bathroom visually. So like
Hmm.
if it's a crowded place, it depends on situation, right? Like situational awareness. If you're in a really crowded place, like yeah, I'm probably gonna walk them to the bathroom and wait outside the door. They can only come out one way, you know.
Yeah.
If it's a place that's dead, or I'm familiar with it and I can see the bathroom, yeah, go ahead, do your thing. I got you. I'll watch. Uh,
Yeah.
but my older daughter, she's pretty responsible, so I trust her judgment and her ability, and
Yeah.
she'll be all right.
I had a tough time at Six Flags because they brought just Daniela with. That's my older
Oh,
daughter.
that's tough. That's
Um,
tough.
the crowds weren't too crazy, but there's also two different ways in and out of the bathrooms.
Hmm.
So, I just improvised. I said, all right, well, I'm standing in a spot where I can see both entrances. You just go in there. Don't talk to anybody. Don't look at anybody. Just go to the bathroom and get out. And if somebody tries to do anything to you, just start screaming. That's all I
There
can
you
say.
go. Start screaming.
Now she's
hmm
got this, and I'm still getting her more acclimated to using it more often, but she does have this watch to where she can text or call or anything like that. So, you know, like it's just like, well, if something happens to you, call me on your watch. I don't care. I'll run in there and figure it out for you. So that's really it. And then same thing like you, man. She just kind of takes her sister with her to like restaurants, but it's just it's a different dynamic now that they're getting older. So I've always had a little struggle with what to do in that situation because what's worse, letting her go into the women's bathroom by herself or her at her age going into the men's
Yeah.
bathroom with me. Like which one is more awkward, you know? So
I think
I
it's a big building. Like it's an important step for you as a parent to allow the child to have that independence and trust in them
yeah.
too. So I think it says a lot about you to them to
Right.
give them that opportunity.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm kind of trusting it, and making sure that I just keep my eye on the doorway is all.
Right.
And just that's all you can really do. And 99.9% of the time, it's probably going to be just fine. Nick, what about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Dan described. I let the kids go in by themselves. Majority of the time, my older one brings her younger sister in with her into the women's room. Uh, I don't take either one of them into the men's room anymore. That ship has sailed a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it depends on where you're at. A larger public place like a Six Flags or a Disney World or something like that. I would keep a much closer distance between them and myself. I would stand pretty much closer to the bathroom than if I we're at like a restaurant or something where I can have a bird's eye view of the restrooms.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, hasn't been much of an issue for me personally with the whole restroom thing. But yeah, you always got to have eyes in the back of your head, no
Yeah.
matter where you're at.
Sadly, you can't trust anybody, and now you got this whole weirdness with around bathrooms. With these genders and shit that is just wildly psychotic to me. But we won't get into that because that's where that goes.
It's a whole different
Yeah.
topic to talk.
Ideally, I do like when I can find we're at a place and I mean, you can call it an all gender bathroom, but it's actually just a single stall with a lock. That's obviously the most ideal in that sort of situation because I can clearly see that it's for anybody. Nobody's in there. You go ahead, peaceful as ever, and that's just the way that goes. But I'll tell you, what I've realized, guys, is if doing this thing by yourself and as they get older and they start doing more things and the laundry just builds up. It's just I'm sick of doing laundry. I don't know about you guys. You guys are doing like fucking laundry every other day because I just feel like I'm always doing laundry. Nick, you got to be doing plenty of laundry.
Yeah, especially traveling between places and locations and
Yeah.
visiting girlfriend, staying
Right.
over for a weekend. It's
And
a
how
lot to
far
bring back.
how far are you and your ex? Are you guys
It's only 15, 20 minutes.
okay, that's not too bad.
Mm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine's about 10, and then Dan, yours like 5.
yeah.
That's not too bad. But yeah, it seems like there's just more laundry the older they get. And it just seems like it's constant, plus your own. So it gets up there, in my opinion. So Dan,
Mhm.
you getting sick of laundry yet, or what?
Actually, no, well, I kind of came up with this system because it helped me
Oh, I
and
can't
then
wait
it
to hear
helped
this. I
them.
need to hear this. Go.
So each of us, each girl and myself, we have our own like hampers in our room. That's your dirty laundry hamper. Okay. I bought a new washer and dryer a few years ago, 3 years ago. I specifically bought front load washer and dryer. The wash machine it's like the eco tank. So you
Mhm.
pre-fill the detergent. So all they have to do is put the laundry in, hit the start button and walk away.
Okay.
They can do their own laundry start to finish by themselves.
Oh, good for you.
Unless there's some sort of error code on the machine, I don't see their laundry.
They transfer it from the washer to the dryer too,
Correct. Same thing. All they have to do is push the start button.
and
They know how to
they
hold it.
fold it and put it away.
They fold it and they put it away.
Dude,
And because I used to, bro,
you're leaps and
oh
bounds
my
ahead of
God.
me, and
I used to have just the one laundry basket. This is why I did this. I had the one laundry basket for them. They'd both throw their dirty clothes in one basket, and then I'd wash it, and I'd go dry it and go to fold it, and all their clothes looked like the same sizes.
yes. Okay,
I
I was
didn't
gonna
know
say
whose
this.
clothes were whose, and
Hmm.
I'm like, I can't fucking do this
Yeah,
anymore.
I
This
stopped.
is insane.
I stopped. I would do my laundry on my own, and then I would just take all the girls' laundry and put it in one load. But
Yeah.
and then I realized the bitch of it all is trying to figure out whose is whose because, like, it's kind of weird because s- my older daughter will still wear younger sizes in certain shirts and certain
Yeah,
stuff.
if depending on the fit,
And
right?
then I've seen, then I've seen them each of them wearing the shirts, and it's just like, well, whose is this right now? And socks, forget it. I don't know whose socks or
Fuck
what.
them socks.
Fuck socks. I don't even like socks. I don't even do that. But like, yeah. So that's kind of what I stopped doing was their laundry together. I essentially have just taken one of the two and put them in with mine. That way, I know that I can split the mine and the kid, and then go to the right room with all that and get that put away instead of wondering and guessing. Now I know. So that was my system, but I like yours better. You're making them do it. Fuck
Yeah.
it. This is
Give them the ability to, because like then they don't have to handle any detergents.
my kid.
There's no chemicals to
Did you have
touch.
to did you have to bribe them for this? Or did you just like implement it? Did you just kind of like say, "Hey, this is what we're doing now?" Did you
So I kind of set up a like a they don't have like an allowance. I have a chore system where like every chore that they're capable of doing has a dollar amount. So when they do a chore, they'll get paid for it, right? So they can earn money and then they can spend that money on whatever they want, their crafts and
I like
toys,
that.
whatever,
I like that. I would take it
So,
one step. I'm gonna
Nice.
do something like that and take it one step further. I've been thinking about because I do want to because you guys know, and Nick, you know a lot about this. You know that financial literacy is not it's not taught at school,
no.
and we know
No,
that,
it's not.
and we know why it's not. But so
Yep.
who it comes up to us, any of the parents, to teach your kids about financial literacy. So like taking Dan's approach and like yes, getting them to earn the money because it's different. Okay, I might
Mhm.
an allowance to do for what? For nothing. If you hand them money for no reason, it doesn't make any sense. So you make them earn the money. But then what I'm
Mhm.
going to do, this is my plan to do soon. They might still be a little too young for this, but as things progress, I'm going to have like 3 different like containers in their room for money, where one is spending money, one is saving money, and one's going to be investing money. And I, provided I have the extra funds laying around, I want to, as the longer they keep their money sitting in the invested um, can or bank or whatever bank that I put out there, I'm going to add to it for them because that's just kind of shows them the idea of, hey, if I keep my money in an investment, it grows. If I spend
Mhm.
it, it
Mhm.
goes. If I let it sit in savings, it just sits. So maybe that's Nick. Do you think that's something to implement maybe later down the road, or is it just never too early? What do you think? I just kind of sprung this one up.
I don't know. From my point of view, I think it's might be a little bit too early because they're more excited to spend their money that they get than
Yeah,
to invest it or save it.
just might be just me
Um,
being a frugal
but I mean,
old
you're
man.
not wrong. I mean, that's definitely a good life lesson to uh put out there when they get older. It's like, hey, life's not all about just spending money. It's you have to prepare for the future. You got to prepare for emergencies. You got to have a fine balance with how you manage your money.
Right.
And that's, you got to do some, you go to school for a reason and you learn about everything in school to help you prepare for the future. And it might suck sometimes. It might suck to do homework, to study for tests, but there's a reason for all of it. And it's like, it's not going to get any easier. And
No,
then,
that's
and
true.
it's like after school, then you got to manage your money, then you got to go to work, and then
Well, that's the way it
everything
goes.
comes.
Well, that's how it
Yeah.
goes. Like, everyone focuses on, I know we're getting a little off topic, but hey, who cares? But, everyone focuses on, hey, salary, how much am I going to make? How much am I going to make?
Mhm.
That's important. Don't get me wrong. But what you do with it after is, is more important or just as important as what you bring in. Because if you go ahead and take that money and piss it away or put it in the wrong account and you don't grow it, what,
Mhm.
well, you're not doing it right. You're going to end up living in debt. But anyways, that's a totally different topic for before. But Nick, are your kids doing their laundry or no?
Uh,
You still doing it
no, I
for them?
mean, no, they not really. I probably need to do a system like Dan's doing. Um, but yeah, no, they just have a dirty hamper, and then we put the clothes. I put the clothes in the hamper, or they'll put the clothes in the hamper,
I had a
and then
system. Oh, go
yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't
No,
mean.
no, well,
I had a
I
system.
do it all.
You do it all? Okay. I had a system for a little bit because really the hard part is the splitting and the folding. So what I did once was I called them into my room where I was sorting out their clothes and I was looking at the clothes. I'm like, oh fuck, I don't want to do this right now. So I made it a competition. I said, girls, whoever can get all their clothes out of this pile and into their room, folded and into their drawers and hanging up, will get a prize. Well, they did it. It worked, and they did. And you know what the prize was? Because I didn't have it
What was that prize?
it was a hug from their dad. And
Oh, they ain't never gonna do that again.
they never did the competition ever again. So I fucked it up.
Mike,
Yeah.
you messed it up. You
Well,
had a
here's the one
good
thing.
system. You had it, and then you ruined it.
I gave a shitty present.
Oh,
It's
man.
just a hug from this
Here's
old.
here's the one thing though. Like I told him it's like, okay, we're gonna go see my girlfriend and the kids. It's like you guys are responsible for whatever clothes you're bringing. Like we're staying there this many days or over the weekend. It's like if you don't bring enough clothes, that's on you because that's like I don't want to have to go back home and get additional clothes. But if we have to, obviously I would. But it's like I'm trying to teach them you're responsible for your own clothes. Trying to get them more self-sufficient, more independent
Yeah.
with the things that they need. Especially like tampons or like feminine products. Like you need to bring if it's that time of the month and you need to bring tampons. I'm not gonna know because it's like it's a thing that's not in my internal calendar in my head.
Yeah, Nick, you're not bleeding out of your dick
Right.
every month. Exactly. So, but no, well, yeah. But no, I hear you. And I sort of struggle with that a little bit myself. I won't lie to you, because like with clothes and things like that, I am kind of on the lookout as best I can, just because I just feel bad in a sense, because I know they went through a lot over the last few years, with the split and all that. But I want to make sure they don't feel neglected, so I try to handle it. But I do think that sometimes that's enabling them to not be responsible, like you said. So I do agree with what you're saying, and implementing it the right way. It's not a punishment. It's just, hey, I want you to,
Right.
grow up and be responsible and know what you're doing. So but that's it. And there's always going to be something, between you guys, us and significant others, not significant others, I should say, the exes, actually, the co-parents. So
hmm
that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Nothing serious. Have you ever had any like silly little minor disagreements that were just so stupid, or so? I mean, I don't know how to put it. But
Petty disagreements.
a little petty, like maybe you were wrong, but you just guys, or maybe it wasn't that big a deal, but you guys couldn't get it done, couldn't get a grasp on it and agree together in a way. It was just like, I don't know. I have one here. I'll share it first, just to give you
Okay.
all right. So this isn't necessarily an agreement, but this is just two different brains with flaws. Speaking of me and my ex, who, none of us are perfect here. So I'll start with her end of things. And mine, I'll tell you this right now. She knows I'm telling this. And also my flaw, my error was even worse. Because I'll tell you why. But anyways, so it was summer. So the girls go to camp. All right. And it was a time they were with their mom, but I had some flexibility and I was able to pick them up that day. So Daniela comes walking up to the car with this shirt on that says, "You give me the ick." So I was looking at that shirt. I'm like, what the? It was like really big letters and it was, "You give me the ick." And I'm just like, what's this shirt? And she's like, what? I don't know. I bought it. We went shopping the other day. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it doesn't really fit your personality to me. Like, you're so sweet. You're such a nice girl. Like, you don't, like, this just doesn't fit you. And it really doesn't. I wasn't even that mad about it. I'm just like,
It's beginning.
yeah, I know, right? Well, I sort of put an end to it. I just kind of like, what is this ick? I texted their mom. I was just like, she's like, what? It's just something the kids say these days. And I'm just like, so she didn't think it was that big of a deal. I mean, I didn't make a big deal of it, but I was sort of like, hey, I don't think that shirt suits who you are, Daniela. And she was like, well, it's just soft and comfortable. Maybe I'll just wear it to sleep. I said, okay, that's a good idea. I'll tell you what, if you like it, you wear it. I don't really think it's a good message to put out there. It doesn't really describe you. And I've never seen the shirt again. Again, I think I handled that pretty well without shaming. Like, I didn't like yell at her, like, what is this bullshit? You know what I'm saying? So I figured that. So that was like not a big issue, but it was just one of those little disagreements where my ex didn't think it was that huge of a deal. And I sort of did. I sort of thought it was like not genuine to who she was. Anyways, even before then, there was I'm oblivious. I want you guys to know this. I don't know if you know this. My girlfriend Kathleen will tell you that I have an obliviousness to me at sometimes. Dan, have you ever picked that up about me or Nick?
Yes, I have.
Okay. All right. Well,
No shade though. It's who you are, and I don't mind it.
all right. So
I mean,
I
I feel like I'm the same way too with a lot of things.
yeah, we all have something. So I'm fine. I'm not I admit it, and I'm trying to be better at it. But sometimes I'm just fucking oblivious. And I'm not really a lyrics guy with songs. So I'll tell you, I got a playlist running on my Spotify. It's the Daddy Daughter playlist. We play it in the car. Sometimes the girls want to add a song. I'll add a song. It
Mm.
actually started out just being my liked songs, and we just kind of kept it running. If something sounded good, I just clicked the like and would go into the playlist. Most people know me as listening to metal and all that, but sometimes I dive into other genres and pop and hip hop, maybe something a little bit like that's EDM.
EDM, yeah.
Yeah. So there's an artist you guys may have heard of named Tovlo, S.G. Lewis and
Mhm.
Tovlo. I don't know if you guys are aware, but
Yep.
So anyways, this
I'm shaking
song
my head on the Zoom if you guys can't hear
Nick doesn't
my
know who
head
that
shake.
is, and that's fine. So I add this song to the playlist, and so it's called Pineapple Slice. And have you guys heard that song before?
Yeah, isn't that about like
Uh,
eating?
yeah. I'll tell you what
Yeah,
it's about. So I'll
not good.
no. So I don't even know. Look, I know what the pineapple slice is, but I didn't associate this with the song. So I'm coming driving home. I remember I was driving back from getting a tattoo done, and I get a call from my ex saying that the girls are singing this song, and what the fuck? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she sends me the lyrics, and I put it on in the car. I'm like, oh fuck me. So to those of you who don't know
Oh,
what the fuck I'm talking about right now, there's a thing where women eat a pineapple slice and it makes them taste better down low. So
Oh boy.
just to give you here's a
uh,
little lyric. Excuse me, these are profound lyrics. I lift my hips. That's your sexy cue. You gotta taste what's in front of you. Hold your head with my thighs. Ate a pineapple slice. Ooh. Use your tongue. It turns me on. Make me moan. Your weight on me feels so good. So I won't go on with the song, but as you can
say, you better
see,
stop. I'm getting excited over here,
yeah,
Mike.
I knew you were. I saw, but but I'll tell you, holy shit, did I fuck up? And if anyone's out there judging me, then hey, you're not a perfect parent either. None of us are. And I immediately took that song off the playlist, and was incredibly embarrassed. And yes, like in comparison to the shirt now, yeah, mine's worse. So that was just like these are just like the reason I'm even bringing this up is these are these little things that kind of happen. Um, and maybe had you been together with the other person that can hear it, you wouldn't have gotten as far as it did. So these are just the struggles as a solo person that you don't notice it, but you're exposing your kids to it, and you're like, need somebody else to do it, and then everything always looks worse from the outside, right? So it made me look bad as an outside, from being an outsider. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
my
Yeah.
ex, like you know what I mean. So I don't know. That was just one of those little things that where there was a simple disagreement, but it could have probably been uh, prevented had we maybe been in the same household together. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have seen her wear the shirt. She
Mhm.
may have never worn that to camp if I said something earlier. Or the same thing with the song. Maybe it would have been playing in the car, and I would have shut it off sooner before they ever got to hear it a few times. So, you guys have had anything of the sort like that, or anything that's like that,
Yeah.
Dan or Nick, whoever?
Go ahead, Nick.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Um, it wasn't really a huge tiff, but it was like it's like okay, like not a big fan of this, but it's like I guess I'm outvoted here kind of thing. Um, and I can't wait to see you guys' reaction. Snapchat on the smartphone.
Hmm.
Yeah, you mentioned that last time. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
get a little deeper into that one. Like, what was the what was
the
that
whole
like?
yeah. So I would say about a month ago, I noticed on like the Google Family Link, I can see whatever apps are installed that my older daughter can is installing. You can control like when the phone locks down for the night, when it unlocks in the morning. You can monitor stuff, you can't really monitor like text messages or anything. So I noticed that she lied to me about having Snapchat installed on her phone because I saw it was installed. I'm like, look, like you're lying. Like I know you're lying. I can see it installed on your phone. So it's like she's like, well, all my friends have it and mom was okay with it. And it's like, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm really not comfortable because it's like, things disappear on that app and it's like I'm not too fond of, there better not be any inappropriate messages because I will find out.
Yeah.
And all your friends, friends that are girls, friends that are boys, it's, 12-year-olds, 11, 12-year-olds in middle school now. It's like they all got smartphones. It's like, oh, all my friends have Snapchat, and it's like mom's okay with it. And it's like, I called their mom and I'm like, I'm not too comfortable having Snapchat. And it's like the response was like, oh, who cares? All our friends have it. It's not like any of the boys are sending dick pics over to our daughter. I'm like, well, we would never know.
Well,
We would never know because they're
you're
disappearing.
yeah, you're opening up the floodgates for that to happen.
Mm.
I mean,
So, and
at
it's
that
like,
age.
okay, well, I need to have it. We need to have a talk with her. And it's like, I guess I don't want to be the bad parent, the bad cop, good cop, being the bad cop. It's like I don't
Well,
want my daughter hating
yeah,
me.
no, but you know
And
what
it's like
though? You know what though?
it
The bad
You're not
cop.
comfortable with it and you're being honest about it. And I don't think
Yeah,
yeah,
there's anything
right,
wrong with that.
right.
Because you're a
I
man.
know I know
You've
what
been a
goes on
boy at
the
that
internet.
age and you know what happened. And you know what you
Right,
would have done with that same
exactly.
app. So
So I mean I've reiterated, I've let her keep it installed and I've there's a family thing on there where you can see who her who friends are, but you can't see any messages that are sent or received
isn't
privately. So
Nick, real quick, isn't there an option on those chats to where they don't delete? Like,
mhm.
I think there's a way. What you should do is maybe
mhm,
see if, hey, look, you can have Snapchat, but I'm gonna monitor it because you're a minor. You're a minor.
mhm,
Sorry.
yeah.
And then what you should do is say, I want you to turn off the ghost feature where the
mhm.
messages either delete after 24 hours or after they've been viewed. I think you can do that. I don't know 100%, but you might
Yeah,
want to do that.
I definitely need to look into that more because I've gone into settings and I haven't, maybe I hope I haven't overlooked them because it's like I haven't seen anything to like toggle on or off with those preferable features. Um, but I've said time and time again, I'm like,
Here, it
I
says
find out
this.
there's
You
any
can,
inappropriateness.
Nick, you can disable disappearing messages on Snapchat by changing your chat settings. Yeah, I guess you have to like just change the settings in each individual chat. So
Mm,
I don't know. That might be a lot of invasiveness, and it cause
yeah,
some
that
dis.
might is that it's like,
Yeah,
and
but what
then
do
the
you?
question comes up, do you not trust me?
No, you
And
tell
it's
her
like,
then.
oh
Then
my,
you
yeah, oh
tell
my
her, tell her,
God,
yeah, I trust you. I don't trust other people. That's
right.
what you got to say. I mean, I'm not telling you what to
And
do.
I have said that. I have said that, more or less.
'Cause
Um,
I ain't letting my kid have Snapchat. That's fucked up. No offense, not you.
yeah,
Like I can't.
yeah,
Like I'm just not. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe I'm an old fart. Maybe I'm just an old bag of shit,
It
Dan.
it's just the internet is dangerous, and it's like even your friends, it's like anything can go on.
And,
It's
and
like,
not only now with beforehand it was already enough, but now with AI and all this
mm,
phoniness, I mean, someone can actually make a video, a picture of someone's kid doing some perverse shit or doing some
mhm,
weird shit. I know there's
mhm.
there's there's ways around everything. I know there's terms and
I
conditions
just found
and
out today that she supposedly had a boyfriend, and then it's like now she doesn't now they're not she doesn't have her boyfriend anymore. It's like,
well,
wow,
yeah,
I didn't know this.
I don't know. It's boyfriend girlfriend that age is kind of weird, kind of
Yeah,
different. Like
it is. It's
I was at
trivial.
I was at a trunk or treat around Halloween. I had brought my girlfriend with, and but my ex Jen had the kids, so she was gonna meet us there. So Kathleen and I were in line to wait for the trunk or treat, and someone behind us was this mother with her son, and they're like, "Oh, you're Eva's dad, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." "Oh, this is Noah." I'm like, "Oh, hi Noah. You're in her class?" "Yeah." Is this? "Oh, that's her boyfriend." I'm like, "Oh, interesting." "Oh, Noah," or something like that. And I'm just like, and he's just like, "Yeah, yeah, we both like each other." I'm like, "What?" It's like, I don't know if it's like innocent cuteness or what, but I think that's just kids being kids. But again, this is a 7-year-old versus, you're talking like an 11,
Yeah.
12-year-old there,
A
where it's,
junior
yeah,
high kid,
yeah, a little
you
different
know.
there, but who knows? So
Mhm.
I don't know. Dan, you got anything of the sort that goes on like that where you guys have had some sort of minor spat?
Um, no, like we usually agree on we agree or we compromise on most things. I think the one thing that gets under my skin sometimes is I kind of goes in the same direction of you is the music. Like she's more open to listening to like she'll listen to whatever she normally listens to in the car with the girls. And whenever I'm exposed to it at the same time, I get a little uncomfortable because I'm like, I don't want the girls to be listening to this stuff, but at the same time,
What are we talking? Like, what type of music?
swear words are like
Okay.
rap music. Like Taylor listens to mostly rap music.
Okay.
She's a she likes rap music. Oh, so it's a lot of it's not I wouldn't say it's sexually um forward music, but it's it's a
It's
lot
rap.
of bad words and it's rap music,
It's
right?
rap.
So like
It disrespects women and
but
glorifies violence. It's
the
rap.
girls know like they're exposed to bad words and they know what the bad words are. We don't filter that much around them. We try to be conscious of not swearing near them, but it happens. But we've definitely had talks with them about like what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. Yeah, you're gonna hear things, you're gonna see things, and we'll tell you, if something is not appropriate, then it'll be made aware, right?
Yeah. No, right. No,
Um,
it makes total sense. And
yeah,
it's that old like kind of Nick had said it before on the show. It's like, well, they're gonna hear it at school or or out in wherever they're playing or whatever the heck they're gonna
yeah,
hear it. So but then again, at the same time, I kind of feel irresponsible, like playing that type of music for them. It feels almost weird. Like even the
hmm
song that I had on that I was oblivious to, like I still feel like really bad about that, to be honest with you. I had to sit down and talk to them and be like, "Good, look,
yeah.
Dad messed up. I put a
See,
song
but at
on.
least you talked to him though.
It
Like you did
was
talk to him about it,
yeah, I
right?
did. I had a conversation with them as soon as I saw them next, and I was just like, look, I'm sorry. I let some bad words come in. It's and again, it's hard too because like I mean, they might have just thought it was about a pineapple.
Yeah,
Like,
comprehension of it does play a role. Like if they can't comprehend it, then you know
yeah, like
how much do you
or
divulge?
did I ruin it even more by saying, "Hey guys, we can't listen to this anymore. It's bad." Well, it was just about a pineapple. Like, like did I
Yeah,
just fuck it up even further or did I just dig myself
yeah.
another hole?
It's
But hey,
it's not it's naughty. I can't describe why, but
it's
it's naughty and we can't
it's
hear
I
it.
just say
Like
something
that's
like
all
So
you have to say.
it's not for kids. That's it.
here's
That's
another
it.
question. Have you guys been exposed to brain rot yet?
What's brain rot?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So no, I guess what I don't know what I think I've heard
So
this term.
there's a lot of Gen Alpha like jargon, lingo that's like Giat and
Sigma,
Riz, Sigma,
Riz,
Skibidi
Uh,
Toilet,
Skibby
this and
toilet.
that.
What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah,
let's do a
Yeah,
it's
whole
getting so annoying to the point.
let's do a whole let's go learn all this all this new jargon. Let's have a whole podcast episode and
Yeah,
just talk like that.
I
Uh,
just use it. I use it
yeah,
inappropriately on purpose just to annoy them.
yeah.
yeah, I can see that. You know what I wonder though?
It,
Like, are we like when we were young, we would have
we
words and we thought it was cool. Like we
yes,
thought this
Hmm.
was cool. We'd say these words like, oh, this is what we say.
trends,
But like
trendy things.
trends,
Yeah.
right? So like, but now are we actually like we know we think it's really stupid, but like, are we just the old people now? Like, are
We're
we
like
just?
two generations past the old.
I
Like
know
Yeah.
we're gone.
we're getting up there.
We're
Yeah.
done.
No,
We're
yeah,
millennials. You got Gen Z and Gen Alpha after us.
yeah. The
Mhm.
time, the time
And our
is,
kids are Gen Alpha.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the time is flying, and I think that's what's scary about all of this is just how
Hmm.
quickly, how quickly your little like we kind of touched on it the last episode, just how quickly these little girls are becoming these like women and teens and developing and all this other.
Yes.
It's just
Hmm.
terrifying. It's terrifying in a lot of ways, and it's like you can't wish time away, like like we were talking about before with the tooth fairy and all that. But hey, we just do what we can for these kids. We got to come up with a nice blend of protecting them, but
Hmm.
not sheltering them. You know,
Hmm.
exposing them to the right things, letting them figure things out for themselves without letting them get hurt too badly. It's a lot. It's a lot to do ahead of maneuver. This is tough to do whether you're in a marriage or not. It's tough. Like nothing. My mom said once too, and I agree with it, and I do too. Like almost nothing in life will change your life, like having a kid. Nothing. I don't care
Hmm.
what it is. You can move
Hmm.
away. You can have a dog. You can get a cat. You can
Yeah.
have a roommate. It doesn't matter. Nothing changes your life internally as being a parent, having a kid. That is the biggest change that you can
Hmm.
endure.
Hmm.
So guys, because to close it up here in a little bit, unless you guys have anything else to bring up, we had some questions come in. I'm gonna go ahead and push those to there because we're gonna do part 3 of this. Or we're gonna do a few installments of this until we feel like we've covered a good amount of everything. So we're gonna push those back along with. I wanted to ask you guys too, which I'm gonna put that back on how the girls are eating these days. But I think that's a long-winded topic, and I want to get into that deeper. So I'm gonna push that off for part 3 is just kind of a little bit of a preview. But speaking of previews, I did kind of preview what I was going to say in the end, guys. And you guys can tell me if you think I'm right or wrong and be straight up honest. I think the top rule, okay, to get along with an ex with to co-parent, I think the number one rule is do not do to them. It's a simple rule. What you would not want done back to you. Like
Hmm.
I know it's not groundbreaking, but like treat others as you want to be treated, right? I think nothing.
Yep.
I don't think a situation kind of can play out better if in co-parenting in just keeping that mindset because if you're going to do something to that ex or like what I mean, like restrict the kids from this or be a pain in the ass about something, do you want that done to you? Because it might come back to you because you're going to set the standard where, okay, now this is how we're going to play. Okay, you did that to me. Now I'm going to do that to you. It depends how vindictive somebody can
Hmm.
get. So I just have taken that rule. And then a lot of people have asked me, over the last several years here, like, oh, how you doing this? Like, just simply like, just put the ego away. Because that's what gets everyone in the most trouble is your ego and having to just feel the need to come down on that person, whether you resent them or what. But I don't know. Do you guys feel like that's a good rule to like the top rule to abide by in a sense, or am I just naive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. Go ahead,
Right.
Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually, I mean, you said it exactly as the way I grew up hearing it. I mean, from my childhood through my young adult life, my mom always, man, one of like I think all our parents kind of had some of the similar lines they would say all over, like repeat, you know? And
Hmm.
my mom used to always tell me, treat others as you want to be treated.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I heard that line, and it didn't really click until like I became an adult.
Yeah.
And you kind of like just through like trial and error of like figuring out social life growing up, um, you learn as most things. I learn well through failure. Um,
Oh yeah.
and that's definitely something that like I had to learn the hard way. And like going through as much as I didn't want to do individual counseling for myself, once I started doing counseling, that's something that me and the counselor worked on specifically was um, just taking more time to process what's happening in the moment and react to it in a better way than because I'm such like maybe it's just a male thing, but I'm very reactive
Oh yeah.
and so it was very helpful to kind of go back to that root lesson that I'd been told my whole life but didn't follow because I didn't understand it. But yeah, treating others as you want to be treated is a great rule of thumb. It's a great rule of thumb.
And in a divorce
Mhm.
situation, it's probably one of the
Yeah.
hardest times to go ahead and implement that. It takes a lot of restraint, a lot of maturity to do that. And again,
Yeah.
a lot of ego suppression is the main thing. And like, just I believe, and I was supposed to look this up a little bit further because it's been a while since I read the book "Ego is the Enemy" by Ryan Holiday. Real interesting read if you guys ever get around to it. But I believe in that it was the book where there was a divorce and that if you let your ego go so out of control, and I might have told this in the last episode, I don't even remember, but there was a couple getting divorced, they had money, whatever it was, and like they had a car, a $50,000 car that was involved, and the guy went and sold the car for like 25 bucks or some shit.
Mm.
And so she couldn't get half of the car. So you know what I mean? Like it was like a preventative of he would rather destroy himself and take her down with rather than just go along with the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
right.
these are
Right.
just that's just an example. That's an extreme example, and it's probably an illegal one. But but you know, you just got to put it away, and it's going to be hard at times. And I'm not sitting here telling you that I have been flawless at something like that.
None of us are flawless.
No, no, no.
No.
So that's just the rule that I kind of go by to kind of make this thing
Yeah.
work. And you know, obviously there's
It's a great
other ways.
rule to even apply for the kids too.
There's a great rules
You
for the
know,
kids too.
it's you know, especially with, like I said, I think it's, you know, preteen attitudes, preteen defiance, you know, that's a normal thing, I guess. You know, trying to be cool with their in front of their friends and trying to you know, trying to be the top dog in class or trying to be popular at school. Uh, you know, I think some of that might be brought back home. It's like, oh, you know, how was school today? You know, you know, shrug. Um, "Oh, it's okay, or how's school good? And then it's like, you know, trying to live by rules in the house, and it's like defiance comes out sometimes. And you know, I've had a couple of conversations, especially with my older daughter, and also with my younger daughter, you know, a little bit more delicately. But it's like, you know, trying to reiterate the same thing. You know, do treat others how you want to be treated. If you want it, you know, it's like there's no reason to be an asshole, and if you treat people like assholes, then you'll be treated like an asshole back to you.
Yeah.
Is that how you want it? Is that how you would like to live your life? If so, that's, you know, that's going to be a very hard life you're going to want to live. Um, and it's like you're going to have to, you know, you rethink behavior, and you know, it's, you know, I've had conversations like that with especially my older daughter. So it's you know, I think that circles back to the very first question of the podcast today. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's
Right.
I try to be as logical as I can be with, hey, like I'm just trying to do the best I can as a dad. Um, grandparents, other people in your life are trying to do their best. Life's not always easy. You know, it's not always going to be sunshine and lollipops. It's not going to always be affordable to do some things, but it is what it is. And it's like you don't have to throw a fit or be upset or um,
Yeah, it's hard. It's
bring
hard.
out your defiance.
Right. It's hard to instill that in someone that age. They're
Hmm.
not there yet. Their brain's not fully developed. So it's tough.
Yeah,
That's a tough one. But that all you can do is, like we said, lead by example. Um,
yeah.
and that's it. You guys believe in karma? You guys believe in the actual existence of karma? Do you believe that's an actual thing? Or is it just sort of like something we apply later? Or, you know, like, oh, by chance they got what they deserved in a sense? Or, you know, or is it real, Dan? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a believer.
You
I
believe it
believe
is?
her. I believe I and that's something that like I reflect on. I think through time, like even through like bad shit that I did as a child that I feel like I paid for, like I paid for my sins, right? Like you grew up religious too, like paying for your sins is something that was drilled into me from a young age, and uh I feel like using, man, there's times where I'm like, man, this happened to me because I did that, you know? So reflecting on it moving forward, it's like, okay,
Mhm.
if I do something good to make up for something bad, I think it offsets. So yeah, I would say I definitely believe in karma.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I
and
try to do good so that good comes back my way, not the
hey,
other way around, right?
that's the way to do it, man, and do it genuinely and for real.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't always line up. It's never going to be perfect, but as you could step outside of yourself is something I try to do. This is in the whole healing process of just life in general, not even related to divorce, but just look at yourself as from the outside, and assess yourself. What you're doing, because if you can do that, then you can start saying, all right, well, hey, I almost got karma for something that I've done. And I said, well, this is probably me getting what I deserve for something I had done in the past that wasn't very pleasant. So I don't know. And then maybe I feel like I'm justified and I can move along and move on and put it behind me. But I don't know. That's just the way I think. And who
Yeah.
knows? Nick, do you believe in karma?
Uh, I don't know if karma in its definition is kind of the thing I would say I believe in. I believe, however, that negativity, uh, input of negativity outputs negativity, and whatever positivity you put into something or how you live your life outputs positivity. Um, so, I don't believe there's some special like karma or deity that kind of returns,
Yeah.
some
Like
bad outcome to a
like
person
the
that has
like the magic
done some bad
karma, the
behavior.
magic karma
Yeah.
fairy that comes.
Yeah. No, but definitely negativity breeds negativity, positivity breeds that positivity. Um, the effort you put into something, you will see results with the effort. Um, and I believe in that. Uh,
Good. That's
and I also believe that, the amount of effort with how you want to better your life, how much input and effort you put into your life, and how to better it, you'll see results with that,
right.
and you'll see output, great output with that.
Yeah.
And
That's
and making it, and nothing will change. And I heard a saying, I can't remember where I heard this, but it's like, wow, it's stupid, but it makes a lot of sense. Nothing will change if nothing will change.
Yeah, it's like when you got to like sit back
So,
and really think hard about that. Nothing changes if you don't change, or
hmm
if you don't make a change, nothing's going to change. I guess they also say that if doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result is the definition of
hmm
insanity.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I can agree on that for sure. So hey man, but we got a new year coming up in a little less than a week here. I know I'm not so much. I know people have a big hey, New Year's coming, New Year, new me, but nothing changes unless you change. You could change in the middle of July and have a bigger change than just some made up calendar.
hmm
Flips. Like that's my other thing, like, hey, we get so structured into the time and the and all of that. And we just kind of delusionally believe that because a new year, excuse me, is coming, that something is going to change, but nothing changes unless you do something. You have to do something.
Hmm.
So
hmm
you can December 31st to January 1st. If you don't plan or do anything differently, nothing changes, and you can do that on July 31st, and it doesn't matter. So hey, going into a
yeah.
New Year's, boys, we're gonna have a few more of these throughout 2025, and just kind of talk and shoot the shit a little bit about what it's like to be a dad, a divorced dad with daughters. And maybe we can even throw a fourth on from time to time here. Maybe get a different perspective. Maybe get a
Yeah.
divorced dad with a son.
Ex-girlfriend even offered today, like, she's like,
Yeah,
I think we need like a mom's or woman perspective with
we could do that.
post-divorce thing. I'm like, I'm sure Mike would be open to it.
Yeah,
Maybe not today, but another time in the
yeah.
future, possibly. I'll
Well,
talk to him about it.
yeah, if she wants to do it, that's great. Get another setup, and we'll have a woman on here because I think that is good to do, and I think we can do that and have others. I mean, ideally, I want to do this the three of us, plus or whatever, another person every
Hmm
3 months. So that's our goal until we feel like we've covered enough. So we're gonna do
hmm
this every 3 months because we did it in October. Now here we are at the end of December. We'll probably come back in March, late March or some sort, and have some more. So, you guys got anything to say before I sign us off here? Anything else, Nick? Anything you want to say before we go? Anything you want to say? The
No,
floor is
I mean,
yours.
I'm loving these conversations. I
Yeah.
think, maybe this one was probably not as exciting or, as like straightforward. I think we got in kind of in a great groove of things. So it's
Sure.
like maybe we haven't talked about the most exciting of topics today, but I think as we're steady state into this, I think the conversations are going to be helpful, and I hope that this series helps people that are going through divorce or struggling with single parenting or even co-parenting, whatever their situation may be. And I'm happy to be a part of it. I've known both of you guys for a long time, and there's no better people that I would be having this conversation with.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Daniel, you got anything to say before we sign off?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for having me on and allowing me to express my individual stories pertaining to the topics, and I really appreciate the time. Obviously, talking to both of you is always a pleasure, and I wish you both Happy New Year and the best of luck going into 2025.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
And
you
likewise,
also as well.
to you both. Thanks for doing this with me. It's just been, hey, it's an overall, divorce is an unfortunate circumstance, no matter who you are. Nobody gets married and has kids in their lives expecting that to happen, but it does. But all you can do is make the best of it, and that's what we want to do here. Is kind of put it out there to say, hey, you know what? There is going to be these struggles, there are going to be these things, but there is some joy behind it. There's light at the end of that tunnel, and I know everyone has a different scenario.
Yeah.
So the reason we were doing this, the reason we came together to do this, is to help people to kind of just like, hey, it's a very taboo topic to kind of talk about in a lot of circles. So what we want to do here is create a place to where you can come in and listen. You can email the show. You can message me. You can come on the show like we were talking about. And again, this isn't just going to be, hey, just dudes with daughters. That's it. That's just who we are. That's what we started this thing about. It's a tough dynamic, and we wanted to address a lot of that first. But of course, you can only go so far with all of that. So what we want to do is invite anybody on here that wants to talk. If you have a topic you want us to talk about, maybe you don't want to be on here, but you'd like us to discuss something and get our perspective on it, given that we have some experience. I know we're not celebrities, but fuck celebrities because they're stupid. But we have been through some shit. So so we're happy to go ahead and do that. And like I said, we did get some questions. I got a few. I'm going to push those off to the next one and maybe get a few more. Maybe we'll do a little bit more of a Q&A. If we can get more of a groove going with that, maybe that'll be a large segment of a part 3. So if you want to get a hold of me and any of these other guys, you can just come through me. I'll filter anything out. If you did want to reach out to anybody specifically, I'm on social media. It's at MFS Wellness. That'll be Instagram, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn. And you can email me, mike@mfswellness.com. I may or may not have another episode here by the end of the year. I'm planning one, final one. But if for some reason I do not, I hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas, has a very Happy New Year. And for Nick and for Dan, we will talk to you on the next episode, which will be part 3, Divorced Dads with Daughters. Thank you.